Hello everyone and welcome to a short little pre-season video on Fallout Wasteland Warfare. The purposes of this video is just to get you up to speed on what is planned for Season 3 and also to go over the gimmick of the season, how the audience can participate and just how that'll work. And also the most important thing for this little video is some permanent changes to the minimum equipment levels of some of the New Hope settlers who we have before you as they ended the season. Hold them together and we'll cover all that. You should be seeing this on Wednesday if I have this planned out correctly, so not this Friday but next Friday will be the actual season preview, premiere rather, and it'll be on the table that you can see before you, so it's a little bit of a sneak peek of the area we'll be in. But the purposes of this is just going to be super quick. We're going to start with what's changing permanently to just base equipment and stuff. Not many changes, and the reason for this is simply just to raise up the handicaps of some of the units. They're all a lot of them are from the original releases for the game, and they pale in comparison to a lot of the newer releases as factions, sub-factions and whatnot. So it's just to bring them on par a little bit. It's not to make the game easier. It's meant to be a struggle. It's meant to be some nice people struggling in a harsh environment, but just to give us some more leeway and hopefully the ability also to get more equipment, so not bringing the same two guns every time. So let's start with that, then I'll cover the gimmick of the season, what's changing, and finally how you can influence things right from this video. It will apply from the season premiere onwards. So first up, we're going to cover the only kind of debuff we're going to be applying this season. As you'll know if you watch Season 2, the Settlers of New Hope met a gentleman who believes himself to be the Grognak the Barbarian from the comics. Whether he actually is or not is left to your imagination, but he certainly believes he is, and he has the strength to back it up, although he is very odd. For Season 3, unfortunately, we cannot rely on the Grognak crutch any longer. A note scrawled in crayon was discovered in his room stating that he had to go on a vision quest. So he will not be featured in Season 3. He is, sadly, leaving the settlement. However, he is leaving a parting gift. He will be leaving his sword under the care of the sole survivor, upgrading from his machete. So he's going to be carrying Grognak's sword, but the note did make it clear he will return to get the sword one day. It's just to help the settlement out while he's on his vision, quote-unquote vision quest. So it is a pretty decent upgrade to the close combat capabilities of the sole survivor using Grognak's sword, but a loss for the settlement overall because the insane barbarian is gone for now. So next up is our dear butler bot Pennyworth, who throughout both seasons has been a fantastic tank at times, but often doesn't really put out a lot of offensive capability, except maybe the odd fire. Well, we're not going to change him pre-season, but I'm just making this as a matter of note that very early on into Season 3, Pennyworth is going to see some upgrades. Not massive, but he is going to see some upgrades, and that will raise up his base combat ability. That's all I'll say about it for now, just making a note of it. Next we have the Settler Mini, who has been a staple in basically both seasons. She often ends up being a sniper of sorts. There was opportunities to get a sniper rifle, we never got them because of just the way luck works out. That said though, she is losing her base melee weapon, which I've been using as a pipe wrench, so she doesn't have a close combat option anymore. However, her base ranged weapon is changing to a hunting rifle with the suppressor upgrade. So she is kind of fitting more into that role as a sniper, but her close combat capabilities have suffered as a result, so I feel like there's a fair balance for her having a slightly better base gun, and if we do find a better sniper on down the line, she can obviously use that as well. So the last one who's getting some changes is the Scavenger here. He's a hard one to balance out because he's worse at shooting than average settler, slightly better at close combat but still pretty rubbish at both. So that said, his base ranged weapon is changing from a pipe pistol to a 10mm pistol, same as what the sole survivor uses. The reason for that is it comes with a green die standard, which means it will help alleviate his terrible chance to hit, maybe up his overall damage. His base close combat weapon is also changing from a pipe wrench to a ripper. I believe we had a ripper in our storage at the end of Season 2. It is becoming his default gear. That makes him a bit more dangerous in close combat, especially against armor. So hopefully raising him up a little bit. Beyond that though, that is the only thing that's changing. Not Sturges. I've forgotten who we called him John, I think. He is not changing at all, Dogmeat's not changing at all, and the free tech who was given some clothes over here is also not changing, other than that still being the mini that's representing him, because it's embarrassing running around in a loincloth. So that's it for the changes, at least for now, going into Season 3. Not major, as I hope you'll agree, with Grognak being the only major departure, but leaving behind enough that I think will still be okay. So these are the settlers of New Hope that we will be playing the start of the season with. And on that note, the season is going to be focused on New Hope, even though we probably won't visit it more than once, if that. The way I've been using the settlement mode as New Hope being a visitable place is not what the settlement mode was originally intended for. It was just meant to be an out of battle base of operations you buy upgrades for, you store stuff, then you go on new missions, and it's the battles. Now that said, between seasons 2 and 3, Modiphius have actually brought out a set of rules for having the settlement be a visitable place with upgrades available and so on and so forth. I haven't got that, I haven't looked at it, I wanted to do my own thing, but it is an option that's available that I wanted to let you know about. New Hope has made a lot of enemies, sometimes on purpose, sometimes accidentally, so the focus of Season 3 is New Hope having to defend itself or up its defences. As much as they want to all hold hands around the fire and sing songs, the Wasteland is a dangerous place. They want to be a hub for trade and for people to feel safe, which means they need to be able to defend themselves against some pretty scary adversaries. So the focus of Season 3 is that, is making the settlement safer. And the way the audience are going to influence that comes down to the caps that the settlement earns from doing quests. Normally you would buy upgrades via the normal settlement mode sheet that you've seen me use in the other seasons. This time though, the options for what to spend the caps on, 1 are going to be decided by the viewer, and 2 are going to be a unique table I made up for buying certain defences that will all have a permanent effect on New Hope and will influence how easily the settlement can defend itself. Now, on my back of the napkin calculations, I think we ended Season 2 with exactly 666 caps. I have that number on my notes. This is a lesson to everybody: keep cleaner notes than something like this. But we either had that or 546. I'm going to say we had 666 caps because that's hilarious. So we're going to start the season with 666 caps, and then after this video has gone live, within an hour hopefully, if you head on over to the community tab on the channel, you will see a poll with some options for what to spend the caps on to upgrade New Hope. Each week I will do the same thing. I hope to have a new episode out every Friday, and there will only be one thing built per week, even if multiple can be afforded. That's just to cover, they have to do the work building something, they have to get the supplies in, they have to trade for the supplies, etc, etc. They only have time to do one thing a week, and it'll be whoever or whatever gets the most votes that spends the caps. The caps that we earn from doing quests will get added to the pool, and then again each week you will see the options. Now, not all the options will be available straight away. I'm also not sure if there's a limit to how many options you can put in a YouTube community poll, so if there is, I might just have to list them, which is, I know it's a lot more awkward, but that'll be what I have to do. At time of writing, I don't know how many options a poll is allowed to have, but some will be hidden until lesser upgrades have been bought. So if you're looking at them and thinking, I wonder what kind of good that will do, it might unlock something much more useful down the line. There is more upgrades available in total than there will be episodes in the season, so not everything will be purchasable. Even if, well, I was going to say even if we win every match, yes. If we lose every match, every upgrade will also not be purchasable, just because we won't be able to afford them. Some of them are very expensive, but there will be options, and it's down to you lot each week as each new episode airs, or I get ready to post a new one. I'll try and get a more concrete system down and mention it in the premiere when I'll be putting the polls up for each episode. But that'll be how we do the audience participation, that's the word, this season, for you picking the direction New Hope goes and the consequences of those choices. I think that about does it, except 2 little quick things to mention. Some upgrades can be purchased multiple times, so that's another way that there won't be enough caps to go around. And the other thing to mention is that the season will be 12 episodes this time, not 10. So a little bit longer in terms of number, but a couple of them might be smaller, bite-sized adventures. It's part of the story being told. It's not just trying to, do a shorter episode. but some of them might be a little bit shorter. The premiere won't have a full setup used just because of the way that the story is going to fold out, but overall I hope it will balance out that there's more episodes in total. So with that, hope you enjoyed, hope this set you up for the season 3 premiere. Not Friday, not this week anyway, next Friday, if all goes well, you'll be seeing it, play it on this table, and as I say, within the hour, go to the community tab on the channel and you should see the first poll for how to spend up to 666 caps on one thing, and we'll go from there. With that, thank you for watching and see you then. Ta-ta for now.